Good week, and again, these guys are fighters defensively, and really like them. Like how their approach to things. We got to keep getting better. Next man up. The guys have done a very good job with that all year long since we've been here. Maybe as good as anywhere that I've been in that situation, and we've had a really good week. Questions?
What's your inside linebacker situation? CJ's not playing.
Yeah, what we did is that you saw here so far this week, I mean, not this week, but you've seen every week. What we did is Cope is to take reps, and everybody else is, we multi-teach, we concept teach. We have guys that can play inside and outside linebacker, so that's what we do.
Who will wear the headset?
Yeah, and that'll be a decision on game day. We're still going through that.
How do you feel about how the run defenses set the edge?
In what way?
Setting the edge, not letting guys get outside.
Our run defense is pretty good. And one of the things that we're always doing is that there's no better staff in the National Football League. Okay, and from whatever statistic you want to take a look at, but if you guys don't take a look at DVOA, then all this other stats don't mean anything. And those are the things that we are constantly the most aggressive setting force we can, and there's a couple of times that we haven't been aggressive, and when we're not aggressive, then as a coach I'm aggressive to them, to us, and our players on being even more aggressive on how we set the force.
How much of a challenge does Fournette present?
He's really, he's a great running back in that respect. He's a very powerful man. I have some time on task, when I was at Cleveland and played against him in that ball game, and I think they had 45 runs in that game, and we struggled putting points up on the board. We know that they were going to have to run the ball. A lot of respect for Doug Marrone, and as an offensive line coach, he loves to run the ball. And I smiled last night when I saw Bill Callahan doing that, on TV. But Fournette's a tough runner, and so we've got to go down and get ready to play. And our guys have done a very good job on knocking the line of scrimmage back, and we're going to have to tackle and do that same thing again.
There have been a few games this year, Greg, where the first drive has had a pretty good drive, including Monday night.
Right. 4 third downs. You got to get off the field on third down. And whenever a drive takes numerous amounts of plays, it means there's no explosive plays. It means you're making them work for every single play that they get. And, we had 4 third downs in that first drive. We only gave up 3 more third downs the rest of the game. Okay? And those 4 third downs are critical. We have to do a good job on third down. And that's, been a point of emphasis since we walked in here in April. And we got to continue to do a good job with that. And we had 2 legitimate opportunities to get off the field, and we didn't. They made a good play. We didn't. And we got to continue to strive to be better in that way.
Do you think ever that players just need a little time to kind of figure out?
No, here's the deal. As a professional athlete, they can have time all they want in the off season. We don't have time. There's a 25-second clock. There's a 40-second clock. Go. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, obviously this is a very obvious question, but people will say you need to get more pressure on the quarterback on third down, but
we right now are the fastest snap to release time in the ball. So wait a minute. So if I blitzed you from on air, you couldn't get there. We got to cover.
This is not about the Jets. This is in general about getting to the quarterback on third down. But what about perhaps the coverage needs to be tighter?
What we do is that, and that's a challenge each week. It's not only coverage tighter, okay, and again, it's track rushing, okay, and we had several situations this year. We're number 1 in the National Football League in quarterback hits, hurries, and pressures, number 1 in the National Football League. And in order to get sacked, we've had some sacks get through our hands, and we got to do that. We got to cover, and we got to rush. That is a complementary thing back and forth. So we got to continue to do that. And this is a good group of guys. We will.
What stands out to you about Minshew, quarterback?
They've done a very good job, and I think they've done a good job with creating pictures for a young quarterback's mind to understand, how to play this game that's even faster at the National Football League level than it is in college. he's done a good job of protecting the ball too. You know, his times that he hasn't protected it is when, you know, you get a chance to get a shot on him in the pocket or when he's scrambling. But he's bought extra time for them. He's run the ball very well for them, you know, buying extra time. And he's done a very good job on when they've created the first and second read of understanding that. And I think he was coached well in college at that level too, knowing how to do those type of things. We've got to get ready to roll.
It's well documented. It's well documented that they always say Bill Belichick's really good against young quarterbacks. What's Gregg Williams' history against young quarterbacks? You know,
Bill is Bill, and what we do is that we play no matter who it is. If you play quarterback, we're going to play. Okay. If
really the DCs can
what we do is here's the deal. Okay, DCs don't play, players play. On game day, it's players play. Okay, and what I got to do is not get in their way or compliment and help them. And during the week of practice, I try to cause as much stress, distractions as I can, but you don't see that on game day. On game day is that everybody wants to please. And this is a really good pleasing group of guys. How do we continue to help focus, get a little bit better, and do a better job as a defensive team, 11-on-1?
How does coping skills fit inside? How good can you be if he has to play?
First off is that the thing that I don't think is said enough anymore in our game is if you're smart and tough, you can play. All the other measurables are just parts of it, but you got to be smart and tough. He's a very smart person, but he's got football smarts too, okay? And he can do a lot of different things. And it's not easy playing the middle linebacker position for yourself when you've got to make the call for everybody and then now focus in now on your responsibility. He's done a very good job of that, and he's done it in a short amount of time. We started mixing a little bit in the spring and then back in training camp, but now, you know, you got to be ready to roll. And we were already ahead of that curve, okay, in the last couple of weeks. We were ahead of that. Frank Bush, Joe Vitt, they do a good job with that. This is not their first rodeo either. So we have to have the next guy ready to roll. Okay, you bet.
Thank you.